Today we are building a 5-bedroom base game starter home for a large family that isn't actually a starter home. I ended up going a little bit over budget, maybe a lot over budget. It's a 40,000 simoleon house, okay? But the concept was a starter home. And to be honest, 40K is like pretty cheap for a 5-bedroom house. Imagine if in real life you could buy a 5-bedroom house for 40K. See? But welcome back to Speed Build Sunday. Today we are building a Scandinavian-inspired farmhouse. It's like a barn conversion. I must admit, farmhouse and Scandinavian are both stretches for this one, but that was the original concept. I was streaming this yesterday and people in my chat were like, Kayla, make a Scandinavian barn, and I was like, yeah. So we saw some reference pictures, and then we ended up kind of just winging it a little bit. So it's a stretch to call it Scandinavian inspired, but it was inspired. It was the concept. We had some reference pictures, you know, so it works. This is again a 5-bedroom house. There are 4 kids and then the 2 parents. So we have a master bedroom, we've got 2 kids bedrooms, a toddler bedroom, and a teen bedroom. It's a really decent sized home. I think this is a kind of good house to actually play in if you're gonna play The Sims, because you have space for all your kids. Of course, they could have shared rooms to save money, but I was like, you know what? I want to have a 5-bedroom house. The original idea was to make a 5-bedroom starter home, and then it stretched to like, let's do a 5-bedroom house with the budget you get from all those Sims. So you get 30K with these Sims, and then you spend 2K on the lot. So you had 28,000 simoleons. So the original concept was a 28,000 simoleon house that then turned to a 40,000 simoleon house because I liked the outside of it so much that I wanted to actually furnish it. Because I was using like kind of expensive windows, the doors were expensive, you know, I wanted a real kitchen, and it adds up so fast. But like I said, I think 40K is still very attainable for a family that has 4 kids, you know, in The Sims. I think most times, by the time you got 4 kids, you probably have around 40K simoleons saved up. You start with 20,000, you know, and you say you start with 2 Sims. I mean, it's not that impossible to achieve. This is a playable, livable, decently priced home, okay? So basically, it's kind of like a modern barn conversion. Maybe modern is a strong word, but it's an updated barn. Joanna Gaines went ham on this, okay? If you don't know who Joanna Gaines is, she's a woman that does a lot of renovations and home design and decorating and stuff. She has a show on HGTV called Fixer Upper, at least she used to. She also has a line of furniture in Target. I mean, the woman is a magical, amazing human, and she loves that sort of modern farmhouse style. Now, this isn't quite a farmhouse style, it's just a barn. It's a little bit more contemporary on the inside. I think the word modern doesn't fit it very well, but you'll see me kind of doing it now. The floor plan was the hardest part because I wanted to have this 5-bedroom house. I also wanted to have a staircase up to it. I wanted to have a fairly open floor plan. So when I was trying to do it, I was like, I don't know where to put the stairs. I don't know what I'm doing. But I think it turned out pretty well. If I had some more money, I would have put in like some more like nook spaces that we could have used for, you know, things like studies and bookshelves and stuff, but because we were sort of limited on our budget here, it was harder to do. Also, some of the bedrooms are kind of oddly shaped. It took a while to figure out how I wanted to do this, but I ended up having one bathroom upstairs, a little study desk nook upstairs, 3 kids' bedrooms, the teens' room is downstairs, the master bedroom's got an ensuite. I mean, you've got all the things you need. All the boxes are ticked for this one. And it's not even that expensive. That's a big thing for me, okay? I build very expensive Sims houses sometimes. We just go all out. And so doing it on a budget, even though I expanded the budget like 12K simoleons, that's a big deal. And it has a full dining space. I don't think there's enough space for all the Sims to sit at the dining room table, but one of them's a toddler, so it's okay. The toddler does not have a high chair, but they have a bathtub and a potty, so they're fine. In my gameplay experience, I like never actually use high chairs for my toddlers in The Sims. I think it's just because they're kind of annoying to work with, so I like never actually use them. So I don't put them in my builds. I know a lot of you guys probably actually do use high chairs for your toddlers, so I'm sorry that I don't. It's just that like, I never ever use them. I don't feel the need to use them. I mostly just like grab food out of the fridge and hand it to my toddlers and then call it a day. So I never put down high chairs. It's just an extra expense and object that we cannot be affording. Plus there is 4 seating spaces at the bar. So bar island, whatever. So there's plenty of space for your Sims to all eat. I feel like that, in my mind, I was like, we'll put 4 spaces down, all 4 kids can do their homework at the island, because when I was younger, when I was living at my parents' house, when I was like a child in elementary school, we used to always do our homework at the counter in the kitchen, at the little bar stools and stuff, and I have fond memories of that. Before I had a desk in my room, my siblings were in like preschool, I was like 9, doing my long division at the counter, you know? That's the vision I have for this house, for these Sims, okay? Long division at the counter. Do you think Sims know how to do long division? I picture a lot of Sims being, like, not the brightest, but also some of them are, like, okay, this is dumb, but in my mind, are Sims really dumb, or are they all, like, mega geniuses? Because, I mean, I never think of my Sims as being that dumb, but when you think about, like, everyday little tasks, some of them are pretty dumb. Like, you start fires just by, like, cooking mac and cheese. You have to be really dumb to burn your kitchen down making mac and cheese. I mean, come on. Like, to, like, fully burn down the kitchen. Not just like, oh no, the pan is smoking, but like it caught fire and engulfed the kitchen in flames. Like, how did you pull that off? And you were standing right there. You didn't just like leave it and then, came back and it was burning. You were standing right in front of it and you still burnt the house down. Like, that is something else. So, I don't know. Maybe they just lack common sense. Maybe they're smart and they can do math. But they really lack common sense because, I mean, have you seen the things they do? I think a lot of them are also very socially unaware. I mean, they do things too where, like, they'll watch their husband cheat on them and then not react. Like, their grandma will die and they won't care, but they died right in front of them. Like, they also, you know, walk into people's houses without asking and just show up at your door all the time. Like, they really aren't, they try. Sims try. They make some odd mistakes sometimes. I must admit that one of the biggest splurges in this house, we're going back to that now, is the kitchen cabinets. A lot of times when I'm doing starter homes, you can only afford, like, the most minimum furnishing pieces, right? And kitchen cabinets, upper cabinets, are not a necessity. They cost like 200 simoleons each. We can't be dropping 1,000 simoleons on cabinets. I don't know what to tell you. So the fact that we have upper cabinets, I think that speaks volumes about how expensive and beautiful our home is. I mean, this is just a really classy model home. Okay? Also, the bedrooms are really empty, so I must apologize now. They aren't that bad. The ones downstairs are worse. The whole house is very much this, like, black and white color scheme, too. And then when you go upstairs, we have a little bit more color in the kids' rooms, but I was trying very hard to keep it very neutral, because that was sort of the vision that I had in my brain. I don't know. I don't really build, like, black and white sort of builds very often, but it's, like, this black and white plus some light colored wood tones. I also used, like, a stone, like a natural stone on the floor in the bathrooms. I don't know if that's that accurate either, but in my mind, we're doing a barn conversion, right? So we have this, like, old painted shiplap that we've, you know, upgraded. We sanded down and restained the original floors. We have this old stone that we've, like, repurposed as flooring in the bathrooms. That's my vision, okay? Obviously, it's not real. We're playing The Sims 4. There is no sanding down of old wooden floors. But in my mind, that's what's happened here. And I think it's cute. This is the kind of house that I could really see myself playing in, though. Like, the kind of house that back in the day when I used to get builds off the gallery for my legacy families, because I played a lot of legacy families. I build them all new houses now because I just like to build so much, but back in the olden days before I used to build a lot in The Sims, I would look so hard to find, like, a decent sized cheap house for my Sims family that actually looked good, because it's hard to find, like, cheaper builds that always look nice both on the outside and the inside, because it's hard to do that, you know, and have a nicely furnished, like, cheap Sims house, because we don't have much money. Like, it's hard to pull off. And so I would have loved this house back in the day as my legacy family home, because it's big. You can fit a ton of Sims in it, and it doesn't look cheap on the outside. Like, I don't think you would look at this house and think, like, oh, it's a starter home, like, Whereas a lot of EA's cheaper houses are kind of icky looking. Not to make fun of them, but you think about the base game starter homes in Willow Creek, like, ooh, yikes. But this build, by the way, is on the gallery. It's base game, like I said, so you can all download it if you want to. You can grab it on console gallery as well, because if you didn't know, console players, maybe you're new to The Sims or something, you didn't realize there's a thing called the gallery that didn't used to be available on console, but as of a couple months ago, they have put gallery on console. So you can access it, you can download my builds off of the gallery. It's like an online feature for The Sims. Picture it like a social media platform, but you can go grab my builds there and download them and put them in your game. So you can get my Sims, my builds, all that stuff. I have a fair amount of base game builds on my gallery. I like to do base game builds. I think it's really dumb when people are like, ooh, I'm doing a base game challenge, as if it's like hard to build with a base game. Because honestly, you can do so many cool things with just the base game. It's not hard to build with. I think there are certain styles that are harder to do with just the base game, but it's like, it's not a challenge to only use the base game. You might like have some items you want to use that you can't because they aren't in your game, but I just like disabled my packs and then built a house, you know? And there are so many nice items in the base game, especially with like updates and stuff. They've added so many cool things. I don't struggle at all to build base game houses. I just, sometimes I want to, you know, use other items from packs, like things, maybe you want to have a basketball hoop, so you need city living, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, you can build great stuff with just the base game. So many different styles. Like, it's not hard. There is no such thing as a base game challenge, okay? The challenge comes in when you have budget, I think. The budget's the hard part. I did use debug to landscape this house. If you don't know what that means, essentially, there's a cheat you can use. There's a few cheats you gotta put in to unlock this. I'll tell you the steps. Step 1, testing cheats on bb.show hidden objects, and then third level of debug, you need bb.show live edit objects, and that unlocks all of the landscaping, it's fake, world environment items that we have, that the Sims team has used in the background. You see there's a lot of landscaping in the back that we don't have access to in our build catalog, but they've used like in random world places. You can actually unlock all of that, like all of the plants from Get Together, all of that with that cheat. It's just very annoying to use because you can't search through it. You can't really filter it easily. You can just filter by packs. You can't like copy with the eyedropper tool. You can't like shift click to place more than one at once. The debug catalog is very frustrating in that way, but it also unlocks a ton of new items, and they're all free. So like I put a bunch of landscaping here and it was totally free. That's like my #1 perk. It's annoying to go through and find stuff, but if you're trying to landscape a house nicely and you want to like have a good looking cheap house, debug landscaping, because houses look so weird without any landscaping on the whole property. Because obviously in real life, when you build a house, like there are some trees and like bushes around. Like when you buy a house, it isn't just like empty plot. And so I struggle to have like empty yards in my Sims builds because it just seems so off to me. And landscaping is expensive. Like to buy flowers and bushes and stuff can be so expensive in The Sims. It is in real life too. But like I just want to have pretty landscaping. I want a tree that doesn't cost me hundreds of simoleons. And so when you use debug, it's free. And I don't feel bad about that either because listen, they're fake plants. Your Sims will walk right through these. They don't actually see them as being objects. So, you know, I mean, you win some, you lose some. It's you can't have it all. But it's worth it. It looks nicer. It feels more finished. I think like an unlandscaped lot doesn't feel done. And that's the hardest part, because I always want to put the money, like when you have money to spend on a Sims house, you want to use it on the inside to get like a computer and a TV and nicer appliances that aren't going to break and kill your Sims. But you also don't want to like not have any trees because that's sad. So it's hard to like balance that, and when you use debug for landscaping, it's free and then you don't have that problem. And now I have like a table outside in the backyard and an easel on the patio, you know, and that's the dream. Easels on the patio are the dream. I don't know why I always do that, but my first instinct always for like patios and weird balconies is like, oh, I'll put random skill building objects out there. I think because a lot of times in my gameplay, I'll like need to put down a microscope and I'm like, I have no idea where to put this. On the porch, I guess, because there's space and it's covered so it won't break. So I always just put like random skill objects on porches and patios and things. I can't be alone in that, right? Like I think we all do that. Like a chess table on the patio, easel, that garden-y thingy. I mean, like I said, the cupcake machine. I have a cupcake machine on a gazebo in the back of my legacy house right now. I'm playing a legacy challenge on Twitch, and I've got a cupcake machine and a microscope, that like giant long microscope object. That's on my gazebo. Nothing else. There's a beautiful gazebo in the backyard, and it's just got a cupcake machine on it. But it's worth it. I know that speed builds can be kind of hard to follow because they're just zipping all over the place. So here, my friends, is the finished product of this build. I swear the mailbox was not right there. Oh my god, I moved it so that I could get screenshots that didn't have the mailbox in it, whatever. But this is the finished product. I think it turned out really cute. I really like this house. If I had a few more packs, I would probably add a couple things. For example, I wouldn't have used these columns. And I probably would use the get together columns on the sides here. Oh, I don't have any money. But these columns are a blessing. I'd put them on all the corners as like a trim. But inside the house, we've got a little like bookcase nook over here. There's a small dining space. You've got a living room with 2 couches and a TV that is sized up because it looks sad otherwise. I like the kitchen a lot. I wish that we had better pendant lights in the base game. That's what I came up with. But if I had other packs, I probably would have used maybe something from Seasons. But I like this kitchen. I think it's cute. Plus with these little tulips, oh, amazing. There's a half bath, like a little powder room right here. I like the shiplap a lot. People keep asking me what object this is, what wallpaper it is. This is the industrial interest wallpaper. It's actually under the masonry section. It looks like this. It's this like orange thing, and there's also a vertical one too. That is pretty, that I like a lot, but I use these all the time. I think they're so pretty. That's like one of my favorite wallpapers in the whole game, and I feel like it's really underrated. It's also very expensive, so keep that in mind. We got the master bedroom here, the teen bedroom. They're both kind of sad and not very furnished, but I didn't have that much money, so we just got a big rug and, you know, a mirror. But what else do you need? Upstairs, there's a desk here with some cute postcards and things. We've got a bathroom, don't worry, toddler potty, confirmed. And then there's 2 kids' bedrooms and a toddler's room. All the things you need are here. They've all got a blarfy. They all have like desk space or dressers. There's bookcases and you know, there's a bookcase, you got a dollhouse, there's plenty of toys to play with. This kid, for some reason, has a bigger bed and a balcony, even though he's the same age as his little sister, which is very rude. They're both children. He's definitely the favorite here. These poor middle children, huh? They just don't get treated fairly, but he's also a middle child. I figure in my head that maybe he's like 13, almost 14. He's like about to age up, so his parents gave him a bigger room even though she's like 8. So she's a younger child. You know, they're both children, but he's a little bit older, so it's more fair, even though he does get a private balcony. It's probably not the most fair. Okay, but on that note, I am gonna go, so please make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe and do all those funny YouTube things. And in case you guys didn't know, I post new videos every single day, and so I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Let me know, do you like the tour version like that better than screenshots or no screenshots? I think this is a better way to like show off things and point out stuff because it is really hard to see it all in a build that moves at 600%, you know? So let me know.